Hello and welcome to another episode of Up Until Now podcast, and welcome to our live stream if you're here on our live stream, and if not, thank you for taking a listen to our podcast. I'm your co-host JD.
I'm your other co-host Andrew.
And just again, thank you for taking the time just to be with us, whether you are joining us for our live stream again or you are, listening to the actual podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast. So very, very, very much appreciate all the support that we've been getting over the past couple months now. Now that I think about it, Andrew, like we've been like doing a podcast for like actually like sending out episodes since like what, March?
Aprilish.
I think it was March, wasn't it? It was like our first.
No, I think March was when we just kept saying we were gonna do it, and then it didn't get all approved because some fucking somebody who is nameless because I don't know his fucking name.
Okay, you're right. It was in May. It was in May. But dude, that is insane. We've been like recording episodes for almost 10 months now.
That's fucking crazy.
10 months. 10 months. 10 months we went from just, recording just audio in like $100 microphones, which reminds me, we will be doing a giveaway as soon as we hit 1,000 downloads with the actual mics that we used when we first started. So it's very easy. It's a plug and play kind of thing. You just plug it into your computer and it just works. So be on the lookout for that. It will be on our Instagram. And yeah, we are very much excited about everything that's just been going on.
What episode is this? 29?
I don't know. I think it might be 29, episode 29. I can check really quick.
Yep,
29. This is 29.
Holy crap.
The only thing is though, I feel bad because I haven't been uploading the episodes for whatever reason. I don't know. Like I haven't uploaded in like the last 2 weeks.
We did drop 2 episodes that 1 week, so
we did. And so actually that's the announcement today is like if you guys are what is it called? If you guys are waiting for the podcast episodes to actually release on on like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, they will be released by the end of tonight. I'm hoping. I'm hoping that they're going to be I'm planning on it. I'm planning on it to be uploaded by the end of tonight, and there's going to be actually 3 episodes that are going to be dropped today.
Ooh.
Yep. So there's going to be a lot of time for you guys to catch up and listen to our episodes. So we'll be dropping 24, 25, and 26 today.
Golly. I know Ashley waits for them. She was pissed off at me. She was like, I have not even listened to it with my clients. And then so like now she just takes her Switch.
Okay.
Instead of listening to our podcast, she's like, I can't rely on you. Like, damn.
That's completely my fault. It's not even Andrew's fault. It's 100% mine.
She just plays her Animal Crossing now. She's like, whatever, I'm over it.
I mean, we'll get there. I promise, Ashley. Like, okay, I'll promise to Ashley since she's not even in here, so it doesn't even matter if she hears me or not. I make a promise to Ashley that I will get the episodes uploaded and just like ready to go by the end of tonight.
You better be. I'm gonna tell her that you promised that.
I mean, I don't know.
Man's got side hustles going on after this.
I do. So actually, when we're talking about like finances and stuff, there's a lot of people that do a lot of side hobbies when it comes to just kind of getting extra money. So I do like freelance wedding photography, which isn't doing too well right now, as you know, because of COVID and all that. So instead of using my camera for like actually taking photos, I'm using it for podcast live streaming.
It's so clear, crystal.
It is like look. Well, I'll solo my screen, but like look, like it's actually super clear.
There's a thing where you flick me off.
Oh, okay. No, I don't want to flick you off because if I flick you off, then it's gonna show up in like the
exactly flip off all our viewers.
No, that's not a good thing. I can do a thumbs up. Let me see if I can get it in focus. No, I guess it only. Oh, there we go.
It's so clear. Look at that wedding band.
Bam! Oh yeah, look at that. I am a married man now. I am a married man.
Man.
Yeah.
Look at this single ass finger. I'm taken though. I'm a taken single. Mm-hmm.
You're a taken bachelor. That's what it is, right?
You goddamn right.
But yeah, I mean, Esther. So going back to side hustles, because I'm not doing a lot of wedding photography stuff at the moment because of, you know, the global pandemic. I've been actually trying to help out Esther with her rover stuff.
Which is
Um,
for people that don't know.
it's kind of like the Uber of dog walking. So you kind of no, and seriously, like you hire somebody that like signs up for the website, and then you just hire them to like walk your dog or check in on your dog if like you work like crazy hours and like you just don't have time to like drive all the way back home, take your dog out, and then go back to work. So that's what we're doing. This gentleman needs us for like the next like 2 to 3 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'll be taking care of a dog like for about an hour tonight and making about $20 just like that.
I was just about to ask you, is it good money? But you're making $20 per visit.
Yeah, so actually per hour, I think it's per visit it's $15, but if you would like want it for an hour, it's 20. And I think you add $5 for $5 to $10. It depends on how you set it up. I think it's like $5 to $10 every additional hour that you spend after outside of that 1 hour.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, so it's kind of like a taxi cab service where you get in and you charged a certain amount, but then you get paid by mile or time. It's just kind of the same thing.
I see.
Yeah, so it's not too bad. So Esther and I are gonna be doing that together. We're gonna be splitting the money in whichever way we can. So give me 1 second. Puppy is like complaining.
Because he knows I'm here. Hello, puppy.
Look at
Hi,
how clear he is.
hi, who's a good boy? Beep, 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 beep. Bella! Yeah, he is just like, let you just do whatever the fuck you want to him.
Yeah, seriously, like he's a cat. He's not even a dog.
My cat's a jackass sometimes.
Yeah, just a little bit, just smidge.
Smidge. He's the reason my best friend can't come over. Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna try. I think we can try it. I think I just need to be loaded up on allergy medicine before I head over.
Yeah, and if you forget to bring it, Ashley always has a shit ton too. So
Is she allergic to cats?
she's allergic to cats and dogs.
And she has both. And
Yep.
both of them, like one of them shed like no fucking other.
But honestly, like she doesn't react to Moral for some reason.
Really, that is interesting.
Like you know how like sometimes like if you're allergic to a dog and a dog licks you, you get hives or whatever.
That kind of happens with me sometimes. It just depends.
So like that's like the very first time I actually met Moral. That never happened. So we're like, what the hell's wrong with this dog? Or what the hell's wrong with you?
Maybe it's not spit. Maybe Ashley's allergic to like pet dander.
It might be that.
It's like dead skin cells. But when you actually look at Moro, it's when you look at her fur, it's just fur. There's like no like pet dander in there. So
I'm alive. We did have a friend come over once though. Joel's cousin, Alicia.
Okay. Yeah.
She came over and she's allergic to dogs. And Moral licked the shit out of her hand. And then we went to go get some boba. And then at the boba shop, she's like, "Oh,
started. Oh god,
there we go. I'm breaking out." I was like, "What happened?" She's like,
"Poor girl."
Well, Moral licked me. I was like, "Ugh."
See, like for me, I noticed that the only time like I start getting hives and start getting a little itchy and red is if the dog licks me, but then I'm playing with it, and I'm allergic to dust too. So
mungie,
the mungie is like it's stuck on my forehead with the spit.
Okay.
So I think that's what happens, and that's what kind of like accelerates my allergies on top of that.
I'm gonna rub some mungie on your ass.
Dude, I'm like super allergic to dust. It's insane.
Your dodo ass.
Like right now, I know that this apartment is like filthy and like really dusty, and I can feel it.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's actually pretty annoying.
Ugh.
But anyways, how are you doing? How has your week been this past week, Andrew?
Oh, just bumming it out. Kevin was here over the weekend, so that was really fun.
That's awesome.
I mean, I love seeing Kevin, like I always say.
Did he have any comments about the podcast as of lately?
No comment. He likes what we're doing so far. He likes the live stream and stuff like that. He's very supportive. I know in the very beginning he was very critical about what we needed to fix and stuff.
Yeah,
he hasn't been saying anything like that, so I'm assuming that like he likes it more now. And
let's hope.
I mean, I hope so. Just because like we're on episode 29 now, and if we haven't changed it up by then, we're doing something wrong.
Yeah, if people aren't listening even by now and continue listening, we're doing something wrong. Like seriously.
But we are doing something right though. We have almost 1,000 downloads, so we're almost at that giveaway.
We're getting there, man. I'm super excited. I'm super excited.
Oh yeah, and let's see. I mean, it was a little sad just because now we know that Kevin can't visit for a little bit, just because he doesn't have an assistant still at work, so it's rough.
Oh, so he has to do like all the work stuff.
Planning this, all that stuff, and then he was looking for a house, and he finally had like a weekend off, so it's just it's a hassle, and it's like a 3.5 hour drive for him. So if he comes alone, like if Brandon comes with him, Brandon has to drive because that was
Okay.
the agreement. But Brandon's been busy because he went back to school too to get
Okay.
his. I think he's getting a new degree.
Oh, is he going back for like another like undergrad? Like
Yeah,
undergrad?
a different degree completely. I think it's like something physician, something. No, I don't know what it is. All I know is like it's like a rough time for that kind of job. But
Okay.
then that's where his passion lies. So I was like, I'm not gonna bash him for it. Like that's what he wants to do.
I mean, if that's what he wants to do, and I think if you are like really committed to something and you really do love it, it doesn't seem like a job, and you're more than willing to take it.
Like
You
he's
know,
passionate about it, so it's like, hey, all to you, man.
yeah. I mean, I think that's it with all jobs. I think just being able to be just a little bit of passion, it makes the job go by so
Mhm.
much faster and a lot easier. And not to mention, it also makes it where you feel like you're contributing to something, and like and then you just want to like move up in that job.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and like when you move up, of course, like you go from like just like a lowly grunt that just does all like the bullshit work to you know what I mean?
Yo, I don't know how the hell you find all these transitions.
What are you talking about?
You know damn well what I'm talking about. All your little transitioning, like, so if they do want to ask us questions, so on the job you start from a grunt and then goes up to a leadership position. Yo, you're pretty clever with your little wordplays.
I'm telling you, like that. I think that's why I really enjoy podcasting, because again, I think I've mentioned this not in the podcast before. I might have actually. Wait a minute. I might have, but I say this a lot. Like when I'm in a conversation, I love conversations. I love talking to people. I love getting to know them and being a part of that kind of social interaction. That's why this pandemic has been absolute bullshit to me. Like I just can't talk to anybody,
I
or
love it.
I haven't been able to talk to anybody. And but the thing is, in my head is like I can see. I slowly build a roadmap of like a conversation. So like when I start talking to somebody, I guess in this case, I'm just talking to you. I can see how like I can move these conversations and say certain things to make the conversation go
This
somewhere.
motherfucker manipulating me. God damn it.
I wouldn't say manipulating. I'm just kind of steering the conversation to where I want it to go.
That's just a nice way of saying manipulating, steering
It is.
the
It is.
conversation.
It's so much nicer saying steering or just kind of guiding and nudging the conversation. No, you're right.
Nudge it in the right direction, manipulating into the right direction.
I'm manipulating the conversation to topics that I want to talk about, and I do that a lot in conversations. Actually,
But that's smart though. It keeps conversations going. It's
it keeps conversations going, and it gets to like certain conversations that I want to talk about and that I'm good at talking about. And it's not like I just randomly go to
the
like
basics.
the basics, or just talking to people about topics that they're not comfortable talking about. And I'm able to steer and manage and ask the correct questions to get to a certain topic that we're both comfortable talking about and like opening up a little bit more.
Okay, I see you.
Yeah. So that's me personally.
Little Jason Mraz wordplay. Okay, I see you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about the wordplay, man. La, 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 la.
Mr. A to Z. Okay.
Hey, Como. How are you? Just saying hello.
Oh, thank God I didn't say what I was gonna say. I was like, who's this punk ass?
You said it anyways. It doesn't matter.
I was like, who's this punk ass? Don't say hi to me. Say hi to you only. Hi, Como. Hi, Como.
Anyways, like you go up from like the grunt work and like the not the I don't want to say slave work, where you just kind of just get like you're told what to do and you just have to do it no matter what in order to get paid. But then you kind of go up into leadership and you go into management, and I think that's where I'm at the moment. Like I'm kind of in that supervisory role, which is really interesting. I just I don't know. I just feel like being a supervisor and being a leader is specifically within like your job market is kind of interesting to kind of figure out how to manage that, you know?
It's they're both different phases in life experiences. I feel like, especially like if you're a grunt and then you become a leader, or if you're a leader first and then you go into a grunt. It's a very big transition.
Oh, I completely agree. Like
I
yeah, I understand that.
I've been in both where I was transitioned from a grunt to a leader, leader to a grunt. It's tough to go around that, but at the same time, it's kind of nice at the same time, especially like if you're going from like a grunt to a leader. It's like I have the power now.
And we've discussed that you have like a power complex. We talked about it in our
obviously. Come on, I might as well shove that controller up my butt too, or no, I'll shove it up your butt so I can control you.
Oh man, but yeah, like I mean that's the kind of the thing, and I think when it becomes when you become a leader or you become like a supervisor, it's really hard. Sometimes I think for some people it's really difficult for them to like find the leadership style that they're most comfortable with and the team will benefit from.
Mm-hmm.
So I think my question to you is, Andrew, is like what kind of leadership like qualities do you have that you feel like you kind of like rely on, or that like that's the strength that you use, like whether that be using
street smart
or like using just like book smarts to move people into a certain direction, or like kind of leading them into making them a better employee or whatever.
So when I was a leader, I was a manager for our pool concessions area at Franklin Aquatic Center, and it was tough because it wasn't like your position where you led like college students, people that could actually like they have some college common sense to a certain extent,
I mean, you would think that, but
to a certain extent. Come on.
to an extent, okay. If any of my, which I think some of them actually do listen to my podcast, if any of them are listening, that there are a lot of times where yes, they are very understanding and very adult like, but they're still 18 to 22 years old. Like that age range is like you're still kind of dumb, and it's not because you're dumb because like you're not book smart or anything like that. It's just you haven't experienced the real world and gained like to like really understand what's going on in the world and how to shatter people's like thought of the world. It's like the world doesn't revolve around you. You're not the most important person in everybody's life. Like no one, sometimes people just don't give a shit about you.
Right. And the more complicating part for my end was I was dealing with junior high schoolers, fresh high schoolers.
That's so, like, I would not even know what to do in that
13 to like 16-year-olds. That's what I was managing.
Fuck that bullshit, man. No.
And a side note, what up, Lil JD? Nice to see you again. Love the sport.
It's Jerry.
Oh, that's God. My eyesight is terrible.
Yeah, you should really start wearing glasses. Oh no, you can't because the reflection and it won't look good.
Yeah. Hi, Jerry. Not JD. My God. I just want to say hi to little JD. He usually supports us. So okay, see, like if you post it up on this thing, I can see a little bit better.
Okay, I'll start doing that then. I mean, I really do like this. It's really cool.
Yeah, but from like afar, I always say is a J and a Kim, so it's like I automatically assume it's JD Kim.
I mean, and then I guess if I don't know what it's like to be like legally blind, but I think the B is really close to the D and stuff, so it kind of looks similar.
That just looks like a smudge to me. It's just I could clearly see the J just because it's like a stick and like a little like a curve, but that B is just like a big old smudge.
But yeah, I wouldn't even know what to do if I was like leading junior high school. Like I don't know. Like when I was in college, I would. Let me start over. When I was in college, we have the KAYM, the retreats that the Salem Church used to go to all the time. Well, they contacted me and they were like, "Hey, would you want to be a counselor for the retreat?" And I said, the only way that I will do that is if I get upperclassmen. So if I get even I'll take sophomores in high school, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. Like if I get that age group or some within that age group, I will go and I'll be a counselor. But anything younger than that, I just can't do it. Because I mean, if you think about it, just going on this podcast, and like talking the way that we talk on this podcast, like you and I are very real people. Like we don't give a shit.
As we say, shit.
We don't give a shit. Like we don't give a shit, and like it's just it doesn't matter to us. Like we just want to make sure that the kids or the high schoolers that understand that like the world is not always, rainbows and butterflies.
Rainbows and farts and shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's actual. Sometimes it's just straight up bullshit. Like it's just there's just nothing you can do about it.
Mm-hmm. So it is rough, but like I will say, like, it is nice to manage such young, inexperienced people. Just because, like, when I first managed them, I managed it twice for that position, and the very first time I found I don't know. I don't want to say I made them into great leaders, but one of them at least, Emma, she was just an outstanding employee overall, and like she's just a great individual in itself, and like that's what made it so like I got her into a manager position this year. So me and her managed together this year, and but at the same time, like it's hard to judge that in one season, especially because I also promoted another person who I thought was very good, but apparently all my employees this year hated that manager because he was the worst. And I felt kind of bad to the Parks Rec because I was like, oh, this kid's great, And I was like, oh, I guess I did a bad job judging. But then it's hard to say just because like I treated Emma and Sam the same way, but Emma did great, but Sam didn't. It's like, oh, it's not my fault you suck.
So I mean, like with that, like what kind of leadership like styles do you have? Are you more of like the authoritarian that is like is my way or the highway? Or are you more like lenient, or like how do you like build camaraderie within your team?
It's a little mixture of both. I have to say, just because we have protocols, especially because we're dealing with food. Because and like if you don't do it this way, you're gonna fuck up the food. So you have to do it my way, or there is no way other than my way, because that's how you work the fucking machine.
Yeah.
And there are some employees that like suck at it, even though it's like brain dead work. Honest to God, this is like all you do is fucking push a button. Like there's nothing fucking hard about it. But like they're so young, they can't comprehend that stuff. And just the fact that like I hate slackers, just because like I'm not a slacker when it comes to work, at least, or when I have to get my shit done.
Yeah.
There's a time for slacking.
These couple past weeks, you've been a little bit of a just a smidge of a slacker.
That's because I have an exceptional partner in crime that lets me be a slacker. Thanks,
anyway,
Ashley.
But there's a time and place to have those.
There's a time and place, but then they're young. They don't understand that. There are a few mature ones. I'll give them that. Of
course.
Like I've had a handful of really great employees, but then there are those. It's like there's one big example is this one kid named Jake. I've told all my supervisors and all my directors over there. I was like, I hate working with him. I can't. And then they came in one day to see what it was like for me working with them, and they realized why I was saying this. This kid, all he did was complain all day that he wanted to go home. And I told him, I was like, hey, you know what? We're slow. Go home. As soon as I tell him to go home, he's like, I don't want to go home. Like, why are you sending me home? And it's like, are you fucking serious? And like, I'm one of those like managers that like to work with you, not like just watch over you. Like I work with you because like I want to show you that this is what it means to be a leader. You work with your underlings. You don't just boss them around. You work with them. But then they take that as in, oh, he's just gonna do all the work for me because he's doing it. And I'm like, this isn't me doing all the work for you. This is me trying to work with you. They don't understand that yet. And it's hard to teach them that, especially if they have like that shitty, work ethic of like, oh, I just want to go home. I'm just doing this for easy fucking money. Because it is easy money. Like I said, it's brain dead work. Yeah, it gets boring at times, and it feels extra long when you're not doing anything. But at the same time, it's like the easiest fucking job you could ask for, easiest first job you could ask for.
Yeah,
working as a concessions employee, standing around twiddling your fucking thumbs, shoving it up your butt, not doing anything except dealing with fucking, hey, can you go put a fucking hot dog in a hot dog bun? Or, hey, can you fucking pour Dr. fucking Pepper in a large fucking cup? You know? Like, it's literally brain dead work. But then they struggle with that. I'm getting mad because I'm like imagining those kids that suck work, and it's like pissing me off. But like I can't blow up like that at them because again, like
You could.
I know they're not at that level, even though that level is so fucking low. Like, oh, like how hard is it to comprehend what to do here? Like, how do you burn fucking pretzels? I set the timer for you. All you have to do is fucking click it on. Like, they forget to click the fucking timer on. And then they go like, oh, Andrew, do we need any more pretzels? I was like, yeah, I fucking told you to put it in 5 minutes ago. And they'll be like, oh, shit, I did put it in. Oh, and it comes out pitch fucking brown. Hard as a fucking metal bat. Fucking Christ. Like, it's rough dealing with kids. Especially when... you know, you don't have like the final say in what happens to them, especially because I have a boss too. Yeah. Like if I report it, it's a high chance they'll be fired and stuff. But it's like they're kids; like, they have to learn
making that decision,
right? And yo, like if like 80% of my employees like brought those work ethics to like a real job, let's be honest, a real job,
to be fired,
they'd be fired instantly.
Yeah.
And it sucks that, you know, they don't learn it from here, from like an easy stepping stone, and they're just thrown into the world. So a lot of my employees either hate me or love me because, like I said, I'm one of those people that work with you. So like they love the fact that like, oh, a manager's like working with us, and it's so nice to see a helping hand, especially when he's a manager, because we've had managers that just sit and like stay on their phone all day and do nothing. Sam, but you know, and like I said, like they either love me or hate me. They've labeled me the dick manager last year because I wasn't afraid to send them home if they weren't doing shit. All the other managers would be like, oh, you know, just relax or blah blah blah. But I'd be like, no, we don't fucking need you. Like, why are we paying you to sit here and complain about going home? Just fucking go home.
No, I completely understand that. I do, because I work. So you work with junior high and high school. I work with the next level. I work in college. It's essentially almost the same thing. They're a little bit smarter and they are a little bit more. What's the word? Mature, I guess. That's the. I think the atmosphere that they're in kind of promotes a more mature kind of response to things. Does that make sense? But the thing is, like we just work at like the front desk. So like the front desk is like essentially just imagine like the front desk at a hotel. It's essentially the same thing. We're just like information and just like if you lost your key, we have ways to do that and whatever XYZ. The job is fairly simple. There are complex like protocols and stuff like that because we're dealing with, you know, they're not just like hotel guests. They're just like they're legitimate residents. So it's more like an apartment complex. It's like an apartment complex and a hotel kind of thing. So there's a lot of different protocols that we have to do correctly in order to follow certain laws and other things of that nature. But in my head is like sometimes there's that one kid. I don't think I have one on the staff right now, but there's always that one, not always, but there's sometimes that one kid that just does everything wrong all the time. Like you can train them over and over and over and over and fucking over again, but they do the same shit like the immediately afterwards. Like you leave and you go into your office for 5 fucking minutes and they come back and they ask the same question that they asked 10 minutes ago, and I'm like, it's the same fucking answer. Like there's nothing has changed. You know what I mean? Like, and I think the hardest part with like working with like a little bit older kids is like they, for whatever reason, they need to know why. They need to, you know what I mean? It's like you tell them to do something or do it in a certain way and not the way that they've been doing it, and they ask why. And I'm like, because I fucking said so. Like there's no, like, I don't know what else you want from me. Like sometimes I don't even know why we're doing it the way that we're doing it, but I just listen to my supervisor.
You should sort of just like, I don't know.
Or just do it.
Just do it. Oh, I don't fucking know.
But like that's the thing, and I think that's the hardest part when you start working with students, or not students, but like you start working with like people that are like in that age group. Is just they're always just thinking about why. Like why do we have to do it this way? Why can't we do it the way that I want to do it? And Jerry knows because he's a teacher. Like he understands. He works. I think from the last time I heard, he was working with high school students. So he's working with your age group, Andrew.
Oh,
and
he's a teacher.
yeah, but like it's just like why? Like why do you need to know? Just know that hey, I'm older than you. I've done this job before, and I'm doing this job with you right now. Just fucking do it the way that we asked to do it. It's not that hard.
What subject does Jerry teach?
I think English.
English? Oh, yo, that's when you get like the most like stupid questions. Like, why do we need a comma there? Just fucking put it there. Fucking pause. Fuck. Like students are like, why is there an apostrophe? Like, it's not fucking mine. It's like just fucking put it there. Or like, I hate people that don't know how to use fucking semicolons properly.
I see. I don't even know how to use semicolons properly. To be completely honest,
I don't use them.
I don't use them. I just like try to avoid it as much as possible.
I just don't use them. That's my way around it. But oh god, yeah, I know. It's so frustrating that you can't like just have like sometimes honestly when I'm working, I just wish like God, I wish I could just work with myself sometimes. Like I wish I just had clones of me.
Yeah,
like,
just doing the same job because you know how to do it.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Yeah. Like this is what Jerry says. Everybody wants to know why they have to know how to write. Why do we need to write? And why do we need to read? I mean, you do that because we can like talk about it right now. Like that's the reason why. Like if like I think the biggest subject that I kind of failed at like trying to learn and be better at was English in high school.
Oh, that was the same for me.
Yeah, like in high school, I just didn't give a shit about English class. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. But when I went to college, I'm like, oh my God, like you have to write so much. And like even in the adult world, even now, even more so now, it's just like it's all writing. Like all the communications is writing. Like you can't always just be on Zoom with somebody.
You can't use slang everywhere.
Yeah. I think there was one time where I was talking to, I can't remember who I was talking to. I think I was talking to another English teacher, and they were talking about how in order to like get a higher word count, the students would like put LOL in their essays.
Yikes.
Not even just in an email, because an email is okay, I guess, depending on how close you are to the person that you're emailing.
Mm-hmm.
But they wrote LOL in a legitimate paper that they turned in.
No, instead of using LOL, they have to use LMFAO to get that extra couple letters.
But that's the thing. Like my friend said, she said that it would have been better if they just put laughing out loud, because that's 3 letters or 3 words and not just LOL. So I don't. Working with college and high school students is really difficult because they don't understand what the real world is like. And it's just, I don't even know. Like I get so frustrated with them sometimes. It's because like, just do it. Like, just do it. Like,
get all mad at Korean at them. They're like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy?
like it's like what Shia LaBeouf says. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Like
Can't hear him.
Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it.
Like, yo, I haven't seen that video in so long.
I love it how like he's standing in front of a green screen on purpose so people can like put stuff behind it. But like that's the thing. Like in my head, that's what plays in my head when these kids are like, "Why do I have to do it?"
Yeah, just fucking do it.
Do it. Like why do you need to question every single thing that I say or everything that I do? I don't do that with my supervisors. I don't think.
They don't understand the concept of it's not about who you know, it's about who you blow.
Exactly. And I think that's what we're trying to teach here is like we're not talking about, like who it's just like who you actually, listen to.
Blow. Like you're about to say blow.
Yeah,
Question mark?
I was going
Have you had any like tyrant like leadership? Someone just always constantly saying, you have to do it this way, even though it wasn't even always like the right way.
Yeah, do you remember last week? I think it was last week. And it was when we were talking about the hurricane season at my old workplace, and that guy came and yelled at us for no fucking reason.
Mm-hmm.
That guy.
Oh, he's a dick.
Yeah, like well, I don't think he understood what our position was. He was the vice president of like the entire company that we were working at, and he had no idea what our department did. So I'm just like, okay, and he's coming over to yell at us for something that we didn't even do. And we're like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Like what?
What the hell jumped up your ass, man?
Seriously, like it was just like, what the fuck? Like that was the tyrant guy that like he just led by like force and a facade of like niceness. Like he tried to portray himself as nice, but anytime we would talk about work, he would just be an asshole about it.
Ugh.
You know what I mean? Like that's just like no, like you don't want that kind of person.
Yeah, it does suck, and it does ruin your experience as an employee there.
Oh, of course, and I think that's where like my supervisory style is more like, because I don't like compared to Jerry, like we don't have to like educate these kids. Like we just have to like just supervise them and just get a job done.
You just gotta hope that they are educated.
Yeah, like we put all of our hopes into like people like Jerry.
People like Jerry, like oh, please, thank God,
please teach them so I don't have to deal with it. But like for us, it's just like we just have to make sure that the job gets done. And mine is like, if I take the time to like have a conversation, if I understand like this person doesn't like this and this person likes that, like, and like actually get to know my staff and get to know my students that I'm supervising, they're a lot more receptive to things that I say and things that I do. For example, one of my employees, he recently did a triathlon. So, like biking, swimming, running. He did all that. And I was like, and the entire time he was training, every time I saw him, like, oh, how's training going? How are you doing? Like, how's your body feeling? And, when's the day and stuff. And he, like, I can tell that, like, he didn't understand why I was taking such an interest in it. And it was new to him. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the kind of relationship that I have with my students, is just like, I take the time to really invest in who they are as a person and how the position that I'm in can help them move along and move forward in that. Because I know that a lot of my students are actually, not a lot, but a few of my students are pre-law, so like they want to like make changes and stuff. So like we have conversations about like systemic racism, and we talk about like these things in a very open and very safe kind of atmosphere, where when we start feeling hostile, we're just like, okay, let's take a step back and we'll just kind of go at it from a different time, or like maybe just get into a different mood. And that's the kind of supervisor that I want to be, is where like I would just want to have a nice conversation with my students, because I feel like that's just the way that to do it, because what they understand is they understand how to be social, they understand how to like make friends and stuff. So if you can't be that friend, you're just like this asshole that just tells them what to do, and they can't comprehend it correctly. So I think my supervisory style is like being able to meet them where they're at as a human being, and not them trying to like scratch and claw and climb their way to where I'm at. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just guiding them and helping them like get up to that level where they don't ask, why do I have to do this thing? And that's just kind of my approach, specifically with students. I haven't supervised adults, but from what I heard, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like for adults, as long as you show them respect, they'll respect you. Or that's at least how it should be.
Exactly. And I think the rule that Jerry points out is take care of your employees and they'll take care of you. I think that's very, very true, because if you as a supervisor understand that and have empathy and sympathy, where you're like, I understand where you're coming from and I get it, but I need you to do it this way because this is the way that we have set out. I didn't make the rules. I'm not like forcing you to do what you want to do. It's just, or that you don't want to do. It's just like, we just need to do it in this way.
I mean, I completely agree. And like adding to like the whole take care of your employees and they'll take care of you. There's like another great saying that like a great manager is one thing, but like a great employee pretty much just caters towards a great manager. I forgot how the saying went, but it's like if you're a great manager, your employees will be great, and your employees being great, all that just shows how great your managers are.
That, and it's just a cycle, because
Yeah.
if you're a great manager and you manage good employees but you make them great, it makes your job that much easier.
Exactly. It's like, why wouldn't you want to make your life easier by just doing it like a great job the first time instead of just like being a dick manager and having to constantly like be there with them?
Yeah, and I think Jerry kind of points it out. He says a great employee
That's what it is.
a great manager, and I think that's kind of like just people in general is like I think people say that about family too, is like you're a reflection of your parents. And I think the people that have influence and that you respect is definitely the people that you kind of try to emulate in your own lives, and that's what you want to portray as a human being, because you think that that person is a good person, you know. And I think, I don't know, that's just the way that I want to make sure that I approach them, because I try to put myself in their shoes. I try to put myself back at 18 or back at 19, 20, 21, 22, whatever age that they're at. And in my head, I'm like, I didn't know 3/4 of the shit that I know now during that time. I only knew school. That's the only thing that I knew at 18.
Yeah, to a certain extent, I guess. But like, I don't know, something about just working with younger kids these days. It's just I look at them, and if I try doing what you just did, like, oh, what was I doing when I was, 13 or 15, whatever? I was way fucking smarter than that.
And I think that's the difference, because like you would work with your parents, like you had that retail experience already, and that's where I didn't have it, and that's where I tried to understand at 18. I got my first job at 19.
No, not even that, man. It's like stupid shit. Like, like a customer gave my fucking employee at the register $5 when fucking it was $4.25.
Okay.
The customer was like, "Oh, can I give you a quarter and can I just have $1 back?" He couldn't comprehend that. These are like legitimate situations I've been in, and then the employee would be like, "I think he's trying to steal money from us." I was like, "What's the problem here?" He's like, "He gave me $5, and then he tried giving me a quarter, saying, can he just have $1 back?" I was like, "What the hell is the problem here?" Then
That's fine.
And then the employee was like, "Can I just give him $1 like that? Isn't he taking more from us why you just owe him 25 cents?" I was like, "Yeah, but if he gives you another 25 cents, that makes $1." And it's simple things like that makes me frustrated, because if I put myself in their shoes, it's like I could have done that when I was fucking 10 years old. That's like stupid math.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's just some people that just can't do that, because I know that I've done that a few times where I'm the customer, and I'm like, "Hey, listen, it's $3.95. Here's $4 and a nickel, or yeah, here's $5 and a nickel. I just want $2 back."
Yeah.
You know? Or a dime back. Like it's just like, what? Like that doesn't make any, like they get confused.
I don't know how, like
oh, I'm sorry. The item is $3.05, and I have $5 bill and a nickel. I just give them back and get $2 bills back.
Yeah, like it frustrates me that people can't comprehend that level of math.
Yeah, and I think it even gets like to the next level where you're like, oh, I have like it gets really it can get complicated, but the thing is, it bases off that like easy math. But I get it. I understand. I got you.
There are times where it's like, oh, Andrew, I accidentally charged him for fucking something, blah blah blah, and I rang it as a credit card when he gave us cash, or the opposite. He gave us cash, but I accidentally ran it, or he gave me card, but I ran it as cash, so we accidentally said we have this much profit in cash, but we don't.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, just fucking next time someone pays in cash, don't ring it up and just take the cash and add it up until like it's evened out again.
Yeah.
It's literally the same thing. They'll be like, yeah, I don't think I can do that. It's like, why not? Like it's and the worst part is our pricing. There's no tax or anything, so you don't need to worry about stuff like that. It's just flat like $3, flat $3.50.
Oh
So
my
it's like
gosh, that's
easy
so much
increments.
easier. Oh my god.
And they can't comprehend some like I can't put myself in their shoe because these kids are stupid as shit. Not all of them. You know, some employees are good.
Of course. There's just like
know
one or
basic
two
math.
outliers that are just like, wow, how are you still alive?
One or two, maybe fucking 7, but like I just can't put myself in their shoes because like I grew up very differently than they did.
Yeah.
I grew up working as a child. I grew up knowing that I have to respect what higher authority says to me. Even if it's stupid, it doesn't matter. Okay, to a certain extent. Like if your boss tells you to fucking do this, fucking do it. Don't do your thing first and then do theirs, especially when they keep asking you to do it. Fucking just do what the boss told you to do first and then go back to your thing.
Or even just ask about it later. You know what I'm saying? Like you just finish the way that they're doing it, and then you go back to your boss and be like, "Hey, I thought of a way that it might be a little bit better to do it this way," and then you explain as to why.
Yeah, and if your boss shuts you down, he's just an asshole, and just fucking move on with your day. Don't fucking mind what he says. Just just find a new job if you want to.
Yeah.
But there are dick managers out there, little assholes that don't always has to be the right way. But, just know that they're not always right, but you're in a position where he is your boss.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he's your boss. And it sucks that he's your boss, even though he's an idiot. But, like, that's just how that's life. Fucking, that's life,
fair.
man.
Not fair. It's never fair.
Life isn't fair. Okay,
No,
you just get a small loan of $1 million like Trump did and just move on with your life. All right? Get over it. but seriously, listen to your fucking superiors. If by the end of the day, that's what it has to take to fucking move on with your life, just do it. Like,
and then just like really understand that most of the time there's a supervisor above your own supervisor that they're getting this information from, and they're just trying to process it the way that they can too. Like, we're all human. We are human. Like, that's it. We're all human. And we're trying our best.
That's what my employees didn't understand sometimes, that I had a boss too. Like, it's like, Andrew, why do you want us to turn this off? There's no point in turning it off. Because my fucking boss told me to turn it off. Just fucking turn it off. I wouldn't have fucking told you to turn it off if I didn't need to tell you to fucking turn it off. Just fucking turn it off.
No, that's the thing. And it happens a lot. It happens all the time, and that's why it's so annoying. It's just like, stop asking me why and just do it.
And it's so stupid when. So we had a policy. If you're not doing anything, fucking just clean. There's always something to clean in a concession stand,
Yeah.
Or go outside and pick up some trash. Like there's always something to do. And I understand that, you want to be on your phone sometimes. And like I was so lenient about that. Like I let them be on their phones, whatever. Like I was like, cool / a dick. I didn't give a shit about that. Like you have your life. I understand that. And shit happens. You might need to use your phone or you get bored. I get it. We're concession stands. We're not always fucking busy. But if I told you to go pick up trash, just go fucking pick up trash and do it the way that you were told to do it. I fucking told some kid, go sweep the entire deck for trash to see, because like we had this no seating policy after the COVID.
Okay.
So like they were allowed to bring their own lawn chairs and eat all over the pool this time.
Wow. Okay. Got it.
Just so we don't like congest like the concessions area.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
So the duties that we had as, janitors in our area was going around the entire pool, checking for trash. And honestly, that's like the best role to have. Out of janitor, register, runner, and a cook, janitor honestly had the easiest position because I send you out maybe once every hour, maybe 30 minutes if we're really busy, to just go sweep, go walk around the pool. If you see your friends, go say hi. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to be watching you pick up trash. Just you had the flexibility of just doing whatever you want for maybe 30 minutes, because that's how long it should honestly take you to thoroughly pick up trash.
Yeah.
If you're actually doing what you're supposed to do. Some kid will go out, come back in 2 minutes and say he checked the whole thing. I said, there's no possible and physical way you check the entire pool in fucking 2 minutes because it has taken me physically longer to run around the pool deck more than 3 minutes. You cannot tell me you picked up trash. And the worst part was I stepped outside and I told him, I was like, if I find trash, I'm sending you home. And he was like, what are you talking about? I was like, I told you to pick up trash. If I find trash, I will send you home because clearly you're not doing anything anyways. Yes. Go outside, see trash. Exact spot that I told him to go and pointed at. I was like, hey, go pick up trash here. He's like, okay. Go there, pick up trash, send him home. Like, I was like, how fucking hard is it to just do one task that I told you to do properly?
I don't know, man.
It's not even hard. Like, I understand if I'm telling you to go fucking jump over a fucking truck while it's moving, but no, I'm telling you to go fucking go to the goddamn lawn, pick up a fucking wrapper with a fucking stick, and throw it in the trash can. Like, it's not even a real fucking job. Just fucking do it. It's a stepping stone into a real job for your real fucking life. I'm hot. It's so frustrating dealing with young kids. They don't understand like that it's so stupid easy work, but they make it so much harder. Like, that's another thing. Like, why do employees make things a lot harder than it should be?
I had the same thing happen today. Like, I just don't understand.
Like, work hard. Like, work smarter, not harder. Fucking Christ.
Yeah.
There's one time this kid took to do the trash. He took the fucking picker, but nothing to put it in. So he was constantly walking back and forth. Every time he picked up one thing to go trash back. And I told him, I was like, hey, we have a trash, sweeping scoop. Why didn't you just bring that with you? He's like, oh, I didn't think about it. I was like, you're so stupid. Like, it's frustrating. Yo, Jerry, how do you deal with some stupid ass high school kids these days? Do you just straight up be like, oh, I'm fucking done with this kid. Go to detention. Like, I can see teachers doing that. Like, I've wanted to be a teacher all my life, and I wanted to be like the coolest teacher, like the best. And then like I like work with these kids and they're like fucking idiots. Oh god, like I would be suspended from teaching because I would want to hit them like right in the jugulars. like what do you do, Jerry? Like, what do you do? Tell them to just go like sondura in the corner or something. Or do like wall sits or something. My god. Yo, kids need to be smacked. Holy shit.
Oh man. I don't get it. And I think it even like transcends to people like that are our age. It really does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's sometimes like they're even worse than the high schools because what they think is like they're right. What they think is that what they're doing is the correct way to do things, or they just are so ignorant about the situation that they're in as an employee that they're like they don't care.
No, I honestly think it's because they don't know the difference between their rights and their privilege.
I think that might be it because I think there's an example that I have, and I alluded to it last week. And Kevin, if you're listening to this, or if you're here, this is a story that I've been wanting to tell you for a while. All right, there was a couple about a year ago. This is when I first started my photography business and started like doing wedding freelance and started doing that. I got a wedding. The way that I got the wedding is that a friend of mine, he originally got the wedding, but he was like, I don't think I can make it. I can't do it because of other reasons why he just couldn't do it. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then he's like, hey, listen, would it be okay if I gave the bride your number? And I'm like, yeah, go for it. That's fine. So I got the number. The bride and I started talking, and yeah, she decided that she wanted to pick me as her wedding photographer. So I'm like, great, perfect, fantastic. That works. Out of respect for my other photographer friend, I decided to be like, hey, listen, photographer friend, did you have a second photographer that you were going to use for this wedding? And he said, yes, I did. And here's his contact information. So I'm like, all right, cool. Out of respect and out of courtesy, because I know what it's like to be a starting out photographer and how hard it is to get like events and big events like weddings and stuff. So I reached out to this individual and I'm like, listen, I got the wedding from so-and-so. I'm just wondering if you're still interested in second shooting for this wedding, but instead of second shooting for my photographer friend, you're shooting for me. So essentially he'll be working for me. Let's call this person V. All right. So V said yes, and he's more than happy to come out and shoot with me. I'm like, all right, great, perfect. That's fine. I got a second shooter. I'm good. I don't have to worry about anything. It got to the point where it just got really annoying because V and my photographer friend are actually really good friends as well. So my photographer friend would talk through V, and V would text me like 2 days before the wedding and be like, hey, listen, photographer friend guy is available now. Can he come and be a third shooter for the wedding? And I'm like, it is 2 days before the wedding. Essentially what I would have to do is I would have to text the bride 2 days before her own wedding to ask if I can have another photographer who was her original photographer 2 days before the wedding. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I would have to contact her and it's too close to the wedding. Like, I can't make any promises. And that's what I said. The next day, V was like, oh yeah, photographer friend guy can't even come, so it doesn't even matter. So I'm like, well, fuck. Like, this is just annoying. And then apparently, I didn't know this, but it was also V's first wedding shooting, or it was V's first time shooting a wedding. Right? And I'm like, oh, okay. In my head, I was kind of assuming that V would be like someone like myself, because when I was the second shooter for the first time, I did so much research. I watched YouTube videos, I read articles. I'm like, how to be a good second shooter, and that's what I did. And by the time I got to the actual wedding that I was shooting, I was prepared. I was ready to go. I was like, guns ablazing. I'm ready to do this shit. Apparently, V didn't do any of that shit. He did nothing. And the day before the wedding, he called me and he's like, hey, listen, I feel like our communication hasn't been very good. Like, what are we going to do? I'm like, okay, first of all, I've been texting you this entire time. And I told him, I was like, hey, listen, you don't have to come to the rehearsal dinner or the wedding rehearsal. I'll just go get a feel for like what it's going to be like. And then we can discuss it in tomorrow, the day of the wedding, an hour before we're supposed to go and meet with the bride. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he calls me and he goes, I don't think an hour is going to be enough time for us to talk about the wedding. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, no. I didn't say, this was out loud, not even in my head. I was like, no, it's fine. It should be okay. I went to the rehearsal dinner. Everything is pretty easy. An hour will be more than enough time for us to talk about it. All right, that's cool. The next day on the day of the wedding, we're supposed to meet at 11 a.m. at a coffee shop that I picked out. 11:10 hits. 11 a.m. I get to the coffee shop by 10:45 because I like to be early. I wanted to get my food. I want to get coffee and start just getting ready to go. 11:10 hits. V is still not there. V hasn't called me. He hasn't texted me. He said, okay. He said at 11:05, he texted me, hey, I'm running a little late. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Andrew, I have a question for you. When someone says they're running a little late, how late do you think they're running?
5 to 10.
5 to 10 minutes. That's what I thought.
That's a standard. I'm running a little late time.
I'm running a little late. And I was like, you know what? I'm completely understanding. It's a little far from where he was and completely understand. I was like, all right, that's fine. I'm a cool person. We're good. 11:30 hits. So it's been 25 minutes since he told me he was running late. 25 minutes. So at 11:30, I call him and I'm like, hey, it's 11:30. Where are you? Goes, oh, I'm in such and such town. So I'm like, you're like 30 minutes away? He goes, yeah. But it was a fucking joke. I'm like, what? Are you kidding? Like, you're not even 30. You're not even in town. Like, where the fuck are you? Why are you so late? And he goes, oh, sorry. I was just running late. I'm like, this isn't running late. You're just straight up fucking late. So I told V, I was like, listen, don't even meet at the coffee shop. Let's just meet where we're supposed to meet, at the beauty salon where the bride was getting ready. I get to the bridal's salon, like the salon pretty early because one, I picked the coffee shop 5 minutes down the road. So I was there. He comes in at noon. He
Oof.
starts walking into the beauty salon without his backpack, without his camera, just him walking into the salon. What the fuck? Like, you use your fucking head. Like, have some
smart.
like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why are you coming into a photography session event, a wedding event, as a second photographer, and you're not even bringing your fucking camera inside? Like, what the hell? You know, at this point, I'm getting really, really frustrated and really annoyed. Yeah, but I'm like, you know what? I still need him for this event. I need 2 people here because that's just the way that this event is going to be laid out. I need 2 people. So he's an hour late. I don't even have time to like talk to him about the wedding. So I'm just like, listen, just get shots where we should be good. 5 minutes. So 12:05 after he starts shooting, he comes to me and he goes, "Hey, listen, my memory card is full from photos that I took before. Do you have an extra memory card?" Like, what? Like, what the?
What? You're getting mad thinking about this whole situation again.
Oh, freaking angry. Like, shout out to Kevin. Shout out to Kevin to being a good friend and defending this person because we both know this person mutually. Shout out to Kevin because he does not know this side. I don't think he knows any part of this story.
He doesn't know your side of the story. All he heard was his side of the story, and we don't even know what that was.
And I'm sure that side of the story was how we'll talk about it, but I'm pretty sure I know what that story was. So this guy was running an hour late. As my second photographer, he didn't bring a memory card. He only brought 1 memory card for the entire fucking day.
Which was full.
If you guys have any idea about wedding photography or event photography in general, 1 fucking memory card is not enough. I have 5 memory cards, and I have a system of like how I use them, when I use which card, whatever. And I told him, no, I don't have an extra memory card for you. Like, I have 5, but I have a system in which I use them, so I can't let you have one. It's just I just can't do it. He goes, oh, okay. Let me go check my car. I think I might have an extra one. He's gone for like 10 minutes. He finds an extra memory card. Guess what? That card still has shit from other things that he took before. And then I told him at the beginning of the day, he's like, you can't delete photos off your camera. So you can't go in the camera menu and delete photos from your memory card because that's the fastest way that files get corrupted and that you can't even use the memory card in general. And I need those files. I'm paying you for these files.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So we continue throughout the day. I'm like, all right, that's like everything was pretty much smooth sailing from there. Like everything was better, I guess, to an extent. It was better. At the end of the day, like I'm transferring files into my computer so I can have like all the files that I need to do whatever I need to do with the photos. In order to fill out the weird spacing between the times that it takes to transfer the files, I was like, hey, listen, this is still early in my wedding photography career. So I'm like, hey, listen, how did I do as your main photographer? Like, was there anything that I could do better, like to better this relationship? And I told him, I know the communication wasn't as great as you wanted, but I mean, we just can figure it out. Like it's all right. It's not a big deal. Like everything went fine. I'm okay with the communication. And he said, no, I don't really have anything. You did fine. Like, it's just the communication part was a little bit of an issue, but other than that, we're okay. I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, well, fuck that. Because I was communicating with you the entire time. You were supposed to meet an hour early to communicate more about the wedding and talk about it. Oh, I'm getting so fucking angry. I need to take breaks, but you know, like I was as communicative as he was. I was texting him. I was texting him like, hey, if you have any questions, let me know. He never texted me any questions, so I just figured he was okay. So then I told him, listen, these are some of the things that I noticed from our day about you that as another photographer, if another photographer even did any of this stuff, like they would not hire you again. I didn't say that part, but I'm like, these are some things that I noticed that would probably annoy another photographer. I told him, first off, you did it. You weren't prepared. And he goes, what do you mean? I'm like, you literally asked me for a memory card. I was prepared with all my memory cards, but you didn't have a memory card. You asked me for a memory card. You have to be more prepared than that. You have to clear your cards. Clear your fucking cards. He's like, oh, okay. And then I was like, and the second and the biggest thing is you were late. You were late. Like, bottom line, you were late. And that wouldn't have flown with anyone else. Like, I'm pretty sure every single other photographer that is going to be listening to this, maybe to this podcast episode, but you were late. That's hands down. And that's just any employee and supervisor in general. You know what I mean? Like, you were late. Right. There's no excuse. Like, you were late. If you had car troubles, if you, I don't know, had like a family emergency, yeah, I understand. I'm an understanding person. And then he started giving me an excuse saying like, oh, I was trying to move out of my apartment and the leasing office took a long time. I'm like, no. You don't do that on the day of a wedding when you have a fucking job. You know, I'm just like, no, like that. No, that doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. You know? I'm like, the bottom line is you were over an hour late. Like, I'm not justifying it for you. Like, I'm not listening. I'm not here to listen to your excuses. I'm just here to say you were late and that was it. Right? So that was fine. That it moved on. Then we went to talk about payment and like how I would compensate this individual for shooting with me that day. Now, my general rule of thumb is that I take 10% of what I earned from that wedding and I give it to my second photographer. So 10% of that wedding was $100, meaning that that entire wedding, I only made $900 and I only charged $1,000.
And that's less from your usual rate.
My usual rate at that time was $2,500. Now I dropped the rate to $1,000 is because my photographer friend knew this, like new friends or mutual friends with somebody within that wedding party and gave them a very, very, very big discount. And my photographer friend was like, this was also one of his first weddings as well. And he just like, you know what? We'll do it for $750. And I'm like, okay. I told the bride like before when we were signing contracts and stuff, I was like, listen, my usual rate is $2,500. But I love this photographer, my photographer friend. I love him. He's a great guy. I'm going to respect his price as much as I can. So I told her, I will do it for $1,000. She agreed. We move forward. So 10% of that $1,000 always goes to my second photographer. And that's just how I've always done it. So I gave this photographer V, my second photographer V, I gave him $100, right? And a 10-hour day, $100, $10 an hour. Not bad. On top of that, the bride and groom tipped us both $100 each. Meaning I got $1,000, he got $200, $20 an hour. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a fucking incredible rate for somebody that was unprepared and late. That's just my thinking. $20 an hour is a lot of money.
It is.
So this guy, I understand that he was coming from a little bit further out, but I was too. The wedding was in a different state than Illinois, so I had to travel to that state to get there.
It was in his state though.
It was in his state. The V's state, that's where he was living in at the time, and that's where the wedding was. I lived in Illinois, and I had to travel to V's state in order to shoot this wedding. This guy had the audacity to ask me for more money. And I think that's what pisses me off the most. He's like, is there anything that you can do to compensate me for gas? And what I really wanted to say was fuck you. Like this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like I can't like this doesn't make any sense. Like why am I paying you more money for being unprepared and being just not a good second?
Mm-hmm.
I will say the images and the photos and the gallery that I put together for this wedding looked great, looked incredible. But the stress and the work that I had to put into this person just to get simple answers and to be like just a normal working human being just didn't make any sense to me. Like that trade-off didn't work. I thought $200 was more than enough for this individual because they shafted me.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I mean, you practically gave 50% off your normal rate.
Oh,
more than 50%
off. I gave them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I gave them 60% off.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, why am I doing this? Like, why is this guy asking me for $50 more to compensate him for gas on a job that he was late and unprepared for? I don't get it. So what I thought was like, you know what? I paid him the $50. I was like, fuck it. Just take it. But in my head, I'm like, I'm never using you again.
Mm-hmm.
So I paid him $50 and that's it. I haven't had to pay him any money ever since. And it was just, I think the $50 in my head was a cancellation fee. Like, cancel. This work relationship is canceled. No more. And that's where I was at. I was like so frustrated because I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, what in what world does he feel like he deserves that extra $50? Why does he, what? And I think that's just me and my standards of like being an employee or even being a supervisor. And I think you're like I think you side with me a little bit more than V because I think we both know him mutually as well. But it didn't make any sense.
I want to know what he told Kevin.
So I think what he told Kevin was, I think originally my photographer friend and V were supposed to like essentially split the money a little bit bigger.
Just like, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like half. They're like best friends.
Yeah, it was either half or 60-40.
Mm-hmm.
It was something crazy.
At a really low rate.
At a really low rate of $750.
Mm-hmm.
So... So our photographer friend would have gotten $450, and then V would have gotten $300, from what I remember. So I think he thinks that I was going to
give the same amount
to him, or give the same percentage. But the thing is, I'm the main photographer. I'm not your best friend. I'm there to do a job. I got hired to do a job, and I took a massive pay cut.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what he told Kevin. I think that's what V told Kevin. V told Kevin that I shafted him by trying to pay him. I only paid him $150.
Right.
But the tip went to him. So $250 for the day is $25 an hour.
Yeah.
You're only there for maybe 10 hours. He was there for 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get it.
Yeah, because I remember I tried explaining what happened with UMV to Kevin, and Kevin was saying, I don't know, man, JD, to me, it sounds like JD did him dirty. I was like, no, you clearly don't have the full story, or you only have his side of the story, because that's not what happened, because you were filling me in, especially because, okay, there's another point. I lived near the shoot.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, like an hour away. And you reached out to me and said, can you spend the night at my place? Because my place was empty. And I said, sure. V could have. Me and V are very good friends. We're like family, you know? Yeah. V could have done the exact same thing, you know, and be prepared and been like, hey, can I spend the night at your place too? But I didn't hear anything from V. I didn't even know V was doing this until JD came over that night and he told me V was doing it. So there was a lot of different things that V could have done to be more prepared.
Yeah. And not to mention, like the entire time, I was like, hey, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know.
And you did show me all those messages, and the fact that like he didn't respond for hours.
I legit like gave you my phone and you read through them.
Yeah, and like it seemed like he was ghosting you, but obviously that's not what happened. It's just he was just bad at communicating. It's just
he was bad. It wasn't he was bad at communicating. He was moving out of his apartment the day of the wedding.
Yeah,
thinking he would be on time. Like what? Like,
Nani?
What? It doesn't make any sense at all. Like I don't understand. And I think that's what's kind of making me a little bit annoyed as well, specifically in this situation, is because Kevin thinks, maybe not a whole lot, but in a certain way, Kevin thinks differently about me.
Well, at the time he did, yeah, a little bit.
I don't know about now because I don't.
No, he loves you, man. He loves you.
I love him too, of course. Like I love Kevin, but the thing is like that story that V told Kevin made me in such a bad light for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that you can't control the opinion of others, especially if they hear another side of you that's not even true.
Which is fine. And I think that's what, going back a couple episodes, I don't remember.
Yeah, we talked about it.
We talked about it. Like we talked about the mistakes that we've made as people, and we told people not to do it. Like that episode was like, mine was, you don't know who's going to be able to move on and tell the stories that you have.
Right.
And I think in that certain situation, I did the best that I could as under the circumstances that I was under. And I think the thing that kind of made me sad and kind of annoyed a little bit was the fact that that story had Kevin see me in a different light, whether that be it continues today or it was just that little portion of it back maybe a year and a half ago when maybe V first told the story. But in all actuality, though, it still affected his vision of me.
And it sucks because Kevin is very close to both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know Kevin will listen to this episode. So hopefully Kevin does recall what this story is about. And if he doesn't, he can contact me and I can explain to him.
Yeah.
And then I'll actually have him explain to me what he was told so I could tell you what happened too.
I mean, if anything, what we could do, I mean, we're probably not gonna do it in the podcast episode, but we can just like hop on a call and just talk about it.
With Kevin? Yo, I'm on call with Kevin like almost every day at Discord now. Just playing some TFT and shit. Like, I love
honestly,
kid.
like, yeah, I can hop on Discord and just like join the channel that you guys are in, because like I feel like, because I love Kevin. I don't really care a lot for V because I don't know him.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like the small amount of things that I know about him. And it was just kind of, all right, like he shafted me and he felt that I shafted him and talked shit about me across people that we mutually know. The thing is with me though, is that I didn't talk shit to every single person that I know because I didn't name drop. And I only told maybe my family who don't even really know him, and you. And
yeah.
It's because you and I were together that week leading up to the wedding, and I'm just like, this is what's happening right now, and like I didn't have anywhere else to go.
And just to clear things up, outside of work photography, we're still friends. No one hates each other. We're all mutually good friends. It's just JD has established that he does not want to have a professional relationship with V.
Exactly. And it's nothing personal. It's just like, the fact of the matter is like I take my photography and my branding very, very seriously because I hire the people that I want to hire, and it's because it's my business. It's my freelancing business. Like my current second photographer right now, Zell, he's a freaking amazing. Like, okay, he gave me a few previews of our wedding photos.
I got some, or I got one.
Yeah, and this was him. Come on, baby. There we go.
That's not me.
Damn
it! I told him to just get me and you. I need to talk to him again.
But like this is the photo that he gave me, and I love working with him because he's just a nice guy.
I was just about to say, the photographers at your wedding need a shout out right now because they know the struggles of.
Oh yeah, shout out to Joel and Zell because I think Zell listens. I'm not sure about Joel, but I know Zell listens to.
Joel was in here a second ago.
He was
He commented.
Joel? No, he didn't.
Am I saying things?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. That was Alvin. I can't
Yeah, Alvin. I was like, Joel? No, he was never in here. From what I know. But I mean that's the thing. And like shout out to them because they know because I talked to them about this specific situation. I didn't name drop. I didn't like show them their like Instagram profile, be like, don't follow this guy, like report him or whatever. No. It's just this is the professional relationship that I had with this individual. And it's just I didn't like it. Like it was too buddy for me, and I wasn't a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know this person like that. Like I was there to do a job, and I thought I hired him to do a job as well.
Yeah, I totally understand that.
Yeah,
I'm sure it'll be different when me and you have a business, like our professional relationship compared to our best friend relationship. I'm sure it'll still be the same.
I think it's gonna be the same. I think it's like a part of our business relationship would be like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, why is he doing that?
And then you like come in, storming in, pissed off at me, like, what are you doing? I'll be like, I don't know. And me trying to explain my dumb ass messing up, and you're like, wait a minute. Say that back to yourself. Tell me if that makes sense. I'll be like, huh?
And I'll be like, okay, let's hop on a podcast episode really quickly, and let me record you saying what you're doing and play it back to you. And you're gonna be listening and be like,
oh, I am stupid. That doesn't make sense.
Oh, like what? What?
Who's this?
And I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way.
Like it does. Like, but that was the thing with that specific incident was like being a supervisor in that incident was like I told him, listen, the reasons why there's a couple things again, like what I said was like I noticed a couple things that I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
That was my supervisory skills. Like, hey, listen, the day's over, but these are the two big things that I took away from this day. And whether you can see the severity in either of that is not up to me. It's up to you.
Yeah. Well, it's in the past now. So.
It's in the past. I have my own second photographer that I really do love like shooting with, and he's great. So
he's nice. He's a little too nice.
Yeah, he's too nice, but like it's not like fake. That's the thing that I like about it.
I know that's what I couldn't try. I tried figuring out at your wedding, like, because he had like that really happy, like cheerful, like, oh, I'm really positive, like, but I'm also very timid, kind of like don't hurt me, you know. He had that vibe in him, but then I was like, is he? Does he always act like this, or
he's always like that? He's always like that.
Because I was like, I like it, but at the same time, I don't know how I should feel because I don't know if that's how you act normally.
Yeah, like I think that's the kind of vibe that I got from him too. I was like, is he just really nice or is he just like acting like it? But like every single time I've shot with him, every single time, it even conveys in text messages, like he's the same. Yeah.
But then like he still knows when to, you know, do his shit.
Yeah. He knows when to do the job that he was hired to do.
Exactly.
And he comes prepared. He comes prepared.
With
That's all I can ask.
Memory cards.
Come prepared and on time. Like that's it. That's all you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so the stories I could tell you about my employees not coming prepared. Holy shit. We have a policy, don't wear fucking open-toed shoes. Fucking, they come in sandals and flip-flops and they're like, oh, I forgot. I was like, what? Like, how do you forget like the one main rule we have about clothing? And we give them clothes with our names on it. Like, how do you forget to wear that? Like, what? Like, did you forget that you were working today and happened to just come to work and clock in? Like, what? And some people would forget to clock in.
I will say, like, the clocking in thing, I do understand. Sometimes it makes sense. Like, they just run in, they're running late, or they just, like, immediately go to work. That's
not in our facility. You have to come in the door, and the clock in is at the door you come in.
Oh. Yeah.
Like, you literally can't bypass it when you're coming into work for us. Like, how do you miss that?
I don't know. Kids find a way, man. Kids find a way.
It's something else.
I mean, granted, though, like, I'm technically an hourly employee, and I forget to clock in.
Yeah, you're the worst.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I go in like at the end of the pay period.
See, that's different. You can go in and adjust it.
Yeah.
I have to write it down. I have to remember to go tell my supervisors. And then now my supervisor is looking at me like, you couldn't have told us this earlier. I was like, I couldn't. I was busy. I was doing all their work. I don't know. It's a big mess, man.
Like, I think it's just, I think in everything is just, like, everywhere is the same. Like, everyone's just like faking it until they make it. I think that's like the overall arching theme of it.
Yeah. Fake it till you make it. Unless you really are just bad at it. Stop. Like, if you're trying to sell fucking flip phones or what was that one example?
Landlines.
Landlines.
Just
when you try to make it, just get the fuck out. Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
But you know, JD, I was thinking if anyone else does have like amazing stories like this or any funny stories, where can they reach us?
Oh, please reach out to us. Like, it would be amazing if I could hear any kind of horror stories with like supervisors and employees. Like, that'd be fantastic. If you guys do have those, you guys can reach out to us upUntilNowPodcast@gmail.com. I mean, we check our emails every day. I check the emails. I don't know if Andrew does.
Me too.
You do? Ooh.
Yeah. It's on an open tab for me on Google Chrome.
Ooh, very nice, very nice. And I also, we also have an Instagram page and the same handle, Up Until Now Podcast. Just go ahead and go on Instagram, slide into our DMs. Like, we are always there. I'm always there. And we also, on our Instagram page, we have in our bio, we have the links to our own personal Instagram accounts. So mine is jetty.jpg. Andrew's is
Andrew Chung. 9477.
9477.
My birthday, man. Come on.
I forgot. I knew it was 77, but I didn't know what the two numbers were before it.
It's the same year as you.
My bad. Now I know. I mean, that's where you guys can reach us. If you guys want to reach out to us individually, like, feel free to use our Instagram accounts. I know mine's public. I'm pretty sure, Andrew, yours is public as well.
Yep.
Just follow us, send us a message, and we'd be more than happy to talk. And also, if you guys go into our Instagram page, because that's where all of our stuff is mostly, we do have a link in our bio, which is a link tree. I will also leave it up on our, if I can find it's right here. Give me a second. It's on our banner. So it's that link tree. So linktr.ee/UUN podcast. I mean, that's all of our cards are there. Everything from Facebook to Instagram to what else is there on there? There's like Black Lives Matter card that we have that we really try to push and promote. And we also have everywhere that you can listen to our actual edited podcast episodes, not our live streams. We do our live streams and we really do enjoy taking the time to really talk to our listeners and talk to our viewers. And I think that's just a really fun thing that we just started doing like a few episodes ago. But we do take the edited podcast and we put it up on all of our podcasting services. And if you guys are on Apple Podcast, it's easy. It's like 4 clicks. Just leave us a review. Leave us a rating. Only 5 stars. That'd be great. And also feel free to subscribe and like wherever you guys can. And I know that we also have a YouTube channel, which I have to update with new episodes now. And feel free to, follow us on YouTube, subscribe if that's something that you guys want to do and you guys want to listen to our podcast on YouTube. You guys don't have to. We don't really check our downloads on YouTube, do we? No, we don't. So all of our downloads are on our podcast episodes. So feel free, just where you can, reach out to us. Please do. Yeah.
And I would like to take this time to give a huge shout out to Jerry today with our little insightful tips and knowledges. Knowledge is power. Thanks, Jerry, to teachers out there too. Jerry's always stopping by our stream, giving us support. I love it. I did say he looks like he wants to eat me like a kampungi last week, but that is still true. But I do still think that. But thank you so much, Jerry, for stopping by all the time, giving us the support and love. And also a great time to thank our friend Eric, who I'm sure you guys heard it today. If you guys are on a live stream, you guys already heard it. The new album or new song that dropped. He's awesome. He gives us these songs, and we always like to promote him because he does do great work. And we hope he, explodes as much as we do. We're working with him, And another time to, shout out to any other small individual artists out there who want to work with us. Just drop us a piece or something, anything, and we'll happily shout it out over here. Let's all grow together. If you guys do want to find Eric's music, you guys can always find him on Spotify and
It's on the bottom of the. It's on the bottom, dude. It's SoundCloud.
SoundCloud and Instagram. Fuck. SoundCloud and Instagram at ch.tunes. That's ch.tunes. Fuck, man. I'll get it right one of these days.
And
I
also,
try not looking because I don't want to cheat.
no, that's fine. That's what I did. I had to look at the link.
Damn
tree.
it.
But
Eric, get on Spotify.
he is on Instagram and SoundCloud. Really, you can go in there. And if you wanted to actually download the songs, you would have to go to the SoundCloud link. And he has all of his songs available for download. Feel free to give him a shout out. Or if you guys do use his music, give him a shout out. I mean, just supporting local and small artists is always better than not supporting and just being a scumbag and stealing music. Scumbags. Don't do that. And also, the links to his Instagram and his SoundCloud can be found on our link tree. So feel free, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and they're on the bottom. They're the bottom two cards. So really easy to get there. Please follow him. It always sounds great. I mean, I know that we have his all 4 of his songs that he released previously on a loop, and it's just on this right here. If you guys could take a listen, I mean, it sounds great. And if you guys are on the edited podcast as well, 100% it's on there. And yeah, thank you guys for taking a listen to Up Until Now podcast. And really, if you guys are here on the live stream, Jerry, thank you for stopping in. Alvin, thank you for stopping in. And Connie, Cuomo, thank you for stopping in. Just really appreciate all the support that we get from our friends and family. And if you guys want to watch our live streams, you guys can actually like and follow our Facebook page. We now have a Facebook page, which is also linked in the link tree in the bio in our Instagram page. Feel free to like and follow it. We're definitely going to be live streaming all of our episodes from now on. I mean, if you guys are on our live stream, look how clear my face is.
Mine's a little blurry. I have a shit Logitech.
Yeah, I mean, one day we'll slowly get their studio. Don't worry, we'll get that live streaming podcast.
Yeah, you're right.
But I really appreciate you guys taking the time to really listen to our podcast and join us for our live stream if you're here. I mean, with all that being said, we'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.
Bye.